welcome to the last episode of the AB Trains' Christmas Countdown. This is day 24, and we're here in Bourne, Lincolnshire, where we're going to be tracking down the old Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway, and we're going to start here at Bourne Station. So this here is the Red Hall. This is the only remnants of the old Bourne Station. And all this grass area over here would have been where your platforms were. The station once had 2 platforms. That way would have taken you towards there's the church over there. Anyways, that way would have taken you towards stations towards Saxby, Leicestershire, and eventually onto Nottingham, Nottinghamshire, and Leicester, Leicestershire. And through that way, through these groups of houses, would have taken you to Sleaford, through to Essendine, Rutland, and towards Holbeach, and through to King's Lynn, Norfolk. So, we're going to head down that direction to our next stop of Castle by Them, Lincolnshire. Let's go. Before we move to our first stop on the line, a quick history of Bourne Station. The station was opened on the 16th of May 1860 by the Bourne and Essendine Railway. When it opened, it was named Bourne with an E at the end, but in May 1872 it was renamed to Bourne without the E, and it was renamed back to Bourne with the E on the 1st of July 1893. When the station opened, it was originally a terminus of the Bourne and Essendine Railway, who provided connecting services with the Great Northern Railway, which is today's East Coast Main Line, and to the local Stamford and Essendine Railway, which took passengers to Ryehall and Belnsthorpe, Rutland, and Stamford, Lincolnshire. It was this company which took over the Red Hall rather than demolishing it. The next development was the opening of the Bourne and Spalding Railway in 1866, which saw the converting of the site into a through station. In 1870, the Great Northern Railway exercised its powers to build the Bourne and Sleaford Railway, which was a line that went to Sleaford, Lincolnshire via Billingborough. That opened in 1872. Although operated by the same company, this line was run separately from the Essendine line and had its own goods yard. Unfortunately, the line closed to passengers in 1930, although a special for the Festival of Britain ran in 1950. The last line to open was the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway's Saxby to Bourne line, which subsumed the Bourne and Spalding route. This connection opened in 1894 and was closed to passengers along with the Spalding line in 1959. The original down platform remained outside the Red Hall after conversion to a through layout, but was no longer used. A hedge was planted along the running line edge to prevent passengers approaching the line. From the Bourne and Spalding period, a single island platform was used by passengers, later reached by an iron lattice footbridge from the disused platform next to the Red Hall. The footbridge was a characteristic Midland Railway design and is likely to have been provided when the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway arrived. All passenger trains used the 2 faces of the island platform. The station closed to passengers on the 2nd of March 1959 and carried on for freight until it eventually succumbed to its fate on the 5th of April 1965. With the site redeveloped in the 1970s as a light industrial estate owned by Lincolnshire County Council, in 2014, Linden Homes started redevelopment of the site into a residential development, which retains the original station building. The tracing of the old Midland and Great Northern Railway begins. Our first stop is Castle Bytham, Lincolnshire. Okay, so I'm currently in Lound, Lincolnshire, and this bridge here once went over the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway. That way went towards Bourne, just a slight turn to the left there along that line of trees, and then of course this is where the track bed once were, and through that line there that would eventually taking you on to where we're going, Castle Bytham. Okay. A few miles down that way, no, not a few miles, about 15-ish miles down that way is Bourne. If we turn our attention to somewhere down there, if I can get to it, we are at our first calling point. Of Castle Bytham Station. Now, it is very, very, very overgrown. But down there is the track bed and the platform. I think, I could be mistaken, it is on that side where all those overgrown hedges and trees are. And then I think the station house, I don't know if that's it in the distance. I think there's a chimney just where that tree is. That could either be the station house or it could be that one over there. But yeah, this is Castle Bytham Station. We'll dig into a brief history because this was already covered in day 14. Then after that, we will proceed to our next station stop of South Witham, Lincolnshire. After a quick look at Wikipedia, it turns out that I was correct about where the platform was located. This here is a picture of Castle Bytham Station with its platform to the right, way before the overgrowth. Now, let's turn to the brief history. The station was opened on the 4th of April 1898 by the Midland Railway, although train services were operated by the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway. The station was rather unusual, having just a single platform located in a cutting through the village. The station was not originally planned by the railway, although it was eventually added after considerable local lobbying. Outside the village, the line of the railway now forms a road crossing under the A1. The line officially became Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway property a few miles east at Little Bytham Junction, where it crossed the then Great Northern Railway, which, as we all know, is today's East Coast Main Line. The Great Northern Railway had powers to make a junction here, but it never happened. And so the nearest station to the Great Northern Railway was at Little Bytham, which is a good old walk to there. The station closed on the 2nd of March 1959. Our tracing of the line continues, and our next station is South Witham, Lincolnshire, which is right on the border with Rutland. Okay, we are not far from the tri-point between Lincolnshire, Rutland and Leicestershire, but we are here at our next calling point of South Witham, Lincolnshire. Now over here we've got the bridge. That way goes towards Castle Bytham. And then that way, just over the others, I can't speak, on the other end of that hedge, would take you to Edmundthorpe and Windham, Leicestershire, and Saxby, Leicestershire, where the local service terminates. So there's the bridge where the railway once went over. On the other end, the station building, which is now somebody's house. So I'll try and get a glimpse of both, and yeah, we'll get to the history. South Witham Station was opened on the 1st of May 1894 by the Midland Railway, but despite this, much like Castle Bytham, train services were operated by the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway. The station consisted of wooden buildings and platforms on the embankment, with a goods yard to the north which could hold up to 50 wagons. It also has a station house which still exists to this day as private residence. The station was built by Mr. C. Barnes of Melton Mowbray, similar in style to Edmundthorpe and Windham, which is our next station once we cross the border into Leicestershire. The platforms had a length of 400 feet or 122 metres, with the passing loop measuring 279 feet or 85 metres long. The station succumbed to its fate on the 28th of February 1959. The tracing on the line continues, and we are now crossing the border into Leicestershire for our next station stop of Edmundthorpe and Windham. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have crossed the border into Leicestershire, which is my county. At least 4 miles that way is South Witham, Lincolnshire. And there's where the track bed used to be. All these trees used to be rail line. At least, probably want to say between half a mile and a full mile down that way is our next station stop, Edmundthorpe and Windham, Leicestershire. Okay, we are now in Windham, Leicestershire. We're currently on the bridge where the railway used to go under. But if we head down there, I believe that is a bit of platform. The old Saxby bound platform. Where the other one gone, I don't know, unless it's staggered. But that way heads towards the terminus of the local stopping service, Saxby. There's a car coming, so I'll have to wait a minute. And I'm not filming it, that's why you're looking elsewhere. And there's what looks to be an old engine shed over there, hiding behind the trees. Okay, now that that car's crossed, if we go over to this side of the bridge, down there is the rest of the platform, and that is officially Edmundthorpe and Windham Station, which is now, just like South Witham, a private ownership. So, as per usual, we'll get into the history and we'll head to our next and final station call on the line, Saxby. There isn't very much history about this station, but Edmundthorpe and Windham Railway Station was a station that once served the village of Windham and the small hamlet of Edmundthorpe in Leicestershire. The station was opened on the 1st of May 1894 by the Midland Railway, but again, much like the previous two, train services were operated by the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway. The station closed on the 2nd of March 1959, along with most of the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway. The nearby station in Whissendine, Rutland, which was located on the Midland Railway's Leicester to Peterborough line, which is today's cross-country Stamford line, was originally named as Windham when it opened on the 1st of May 1848. But by 1863 it had been renamed to Whissendine. That station succumbed to its fate on the 3rd of October 1955. Our tracing of the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway is now coming to a close, for we are now coming to our next and final station call, Saxby, Leicestershire. And with that turbo star passing, we are roughly at the site, or at least close to it, near to the site of Saxby Station, which is just up there, roughly. Around that way would have taken you to Saxby Goods, which is a freight only line, which I think is that building there, if I'm not mistaken. And then of course further down that way would have been the old Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway, which would have then joined up with the current Stamford line all the way down that way towards Melton Mowbray. And that's, well, the local services would have ended at Saxby. And the express services from King's Lynn would have continued on that way towards either Nottingham or Leicester. Right, here we go. I think this is probably a good view of where it was roughly. I think it's that gap down there. Yeah, there's a bit of track bed there. That would have taken you towards the old goods loop. The goods line, whatever. But I think around that bend would have roughly been the starting point of where the old Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway used to go. Well, unfortunately there is no clear road to get to the old station, but when I get to the history I'll show you roughly where it was. So, let's do it. On this map you can see where roughly Saxby Station is. Now let's get to the history. Saxby is located roughly 4.5 miles away from Melton Mowbray, with the former station once serving the villages of Saxby and Freeby. The site of the first station was opened by the Midland Counties Railway on the 1st of February 1849. On the 28th of August 1892, the station was relocated near to the junction of what would be the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway, which opened on the 1st of May 1894. This then led to the newly located station having 4 platforms, 2 for the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway and 2 for the Midland Railways Leicester to Peterborough and Nottingham to Kettering routes, which today are operated by an hourly cross-country service between Stansted Airport, Essex, Cambridge, Cambridgeshire, Leicester, Leicestershire and Birmingham, West Midlands, and the odd EMR service which would take you to either Nottingham, Nottinghamshire via East Midlands Parkway, Kettering, Northamptonshire, Norwich, Norfolk, and I think to Spalding, Lincolnshire, but I could be wrong on that one. The Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway closed to passengers on the 28th of February 1959, but, and I forgot to mention this earlier, the line between Saxby and South Witham was kept open for freight for a short period of time before it was completely shut forever and the lines were ripped up, which also led to Saxby Station having just 2 platforms once again. The station eventually succumbed to its fate on the 6th of February 1961. We have now completed our voyage from Bourne, Lincolnshire to Saxby, Leicestershire on the old Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway. To conclude, here is a video clip of a cross-country Class 170 Turbostar passing through with a service from Birmingham, West Midlands to Cambridge, Cambridgeshire. I thank you for watching the latest episode of the AB Trains' Christmas Countdown. With this being day 24, this makes it the last one of this year's series. And what better way to end it than to track down the old Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway from Bourne, Lincolnshire to Saxby, Leicestershire. The AB Trains' Christmas Countdown will indeed return the same time next year, next December, on December 1st, 2024. In the meanwhile, please subscribe for more videos coming coming next year. Of course, this channel is going to be remaining quiet for the remainder of this year to allow everyone to hang out with family and whatnot. So until then, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Berba Nacht. Okay, I think I can do a much better outro than that. Thank you for watching day 24 of the AB Trains' Christmas Countdown. This, of course, being the last one of this year's series. The AB Trains' Christmas Countdown will return on December 1st, 2024. Of course, this channel will remain quiet to allow everyone to spend time with loved ones. And the channel will resume service sometime in the new year. On behalf of the team, I would like to wish you a happy Christmas and New Year, or if you don't celebrate Christmas itself, a happy holidays. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next year. Nalechana is Berba Nacht dan Tonchi.